Good morning. It's Saturday, February 17th, and today I want to talk about an unusual story, but a very important one. This is about a couple that is suing the government because of an unconstitutional, that's their words, $15,000 IRS bill. And this case has gone to the Supreme Court, and it could cost the U.S. a jaw-dropping $340 billion if this couple wins the case. Let me tell you what this story is. This is a couple that invested money in a foreign company, right? And they have an unrealized profit near $15,000 right now. And this money came from an investment that they made in 2005, a $40,000 investment, and they bought a 13% stake in a company called Kizencraft. It's a manufacturing business based in India. And so they came under fire when in 2017, Donald Trump's Tax Cuts Act went into place. And that placed a levy on U.S. taxpayers who own more than a 10% in a foreign company. And on December 5th, 2023, the Supreme Court heard oral arguments in this case called Moore versus the United States. The case that is about the mandatory reparation tax, or the MRT. And that's included in the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. And that says that if you had more than 10% interest in some foreign company, then you had to pay taxes on unrealized gains. So that's a tricky situation, because I invest in something and it goes up, and yes, it might be a foreign company, but it goes up and they want me to pay taxes. But the reverse is not true. If it goes down, I'm not getting anything. I have no cause to declare an unrealized loss. So in my mind, that's unfair treatment. You can't have it that every time it goes up a little bit, I pay a tax, but when it goes down, I have no benefit at all. Why? Why should that be in place? And listen, when you look at the situation and you see that American corporations have over $2.1 trillion in offshore bank accounts, they're not being taxed by the U.S. government. So this case with this couple could reshape the tax code. The Moores, who are seeking this refund, are making an argument that the tax is unconstitutional. It's an unapportioned direct tax in violations of the Constitution's apportionment requirements. In simple terms, the couple believes the government has no right to tax unrealized gains. A gain is not income unless and until it has been realized by the taxpayer. That's what their lawyer said. And he reportedly told the Supreme Court justices the same thing during a hearing. Now, if the Supreme Court rules in their favor, it could conceivably open the door to reshaping the country's tax code. And remember, this is a tax code that was put into effect by Donald Trump. It was a tax code that cut corporate taxes from 35% to 21%. So this was a tax code that did nothing for the country, in effect, but did serve the large corporations a great great deal at that particular time. And there are senior members at the American Enterprise Institute that are worrying because if the Moors win this case, it risks upending key elements of the current federal income tax, and it will wreak havoc on parts of the U.S. economy. Now, I don't understand all this bullshit about wreaking havoc and all of that. If we're being taxed unfairly, how does that wreak havoc on the economy? And how is it that $2.1 trillion can sit in offshore bank accounts without any penalties at all? And if you are a couple and you invest in an overseas company, something like 10% of whatever it is they want, why should you be penalized when you haven't taken any money, when you haven't received any money? It doesn't make any sense to me that I should be paying taxes on stuff that has just gone up because I'm not getting anything when the stuff goes down. So this is a one-sided attack to fill a hole in our budget that should be filled more properly. It should be filled by people who are responsible. Now, I know that Biden and his administration are after people who have $100 million or more, but I don't know that that's the right way to go about things. Why should we be taxing successful people more than they should normally pay? I don't think that makes any sense. I think it would make sense if we took a good hard look at all the exemptions, 170 some exemptions that businesses have. Now, I recognize a lot of these exemptions went into effect when businesses were struggling, and in order to have them succeed, they got a benefit from the country, a tax benefit of some kind so they could succeed. But those tax benefits have long outlived their usefulness. So if there was a tax benefit afforded to corporations 100 years ago, I would think that that's okay to take it off the books now. But that's not the case. So we're penalizing people who invest overseas and make a few bucks. That's not right. Unrealized gains are unrealized. And unfortunately, the U.S. should have to wait to collect on those gains if and when somebody chooses to sell it. Now, if the Supreme Court votes in their favor, that'll be a disaster for a lot of part of this country, but they deserve to have a fair vote. And I don't think anything will be considered fair in my mind if they don't win this case, because taxing people on unrealized gains is like thievery. So I leave you with that this morning. Have a great day, and we'll see what happens. Take care. Bye.